Here at 76 Additive, they're producing consumer goods and subcontract manufacturing for customers making really complex components. We're going to find out how today they can put both products in one build in a multi-jet fusion machine by HP, supplied by Matsuura, and how that maintains part quality and keeps production volume high. So Rob, show us the kind of products that you guys are making on multi-jet fusion machines by HP.
Okay, so this is our own brand, 76 Projects, and here's some stuff we make for other people. So there's quite a lot of cycling stuff we do because we're well known in the industry we do. Our own products, this one is a shifter mount, so it's for the out front sort of extensions where the TT and triathletes, and this is a standard remote shifter, and we create the holders for that to go on the end of the bars. It's been a successful product, so much so that it's now original fit on 2 major cycle brands, and we now manufacture the parts as kits and send those kits to Taiwan.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, Taiwan is like the centre of global cycling manufacture. We make those parts here and send them to Taiwan.
All shipped from the UK. Brilliant, yeah. Cool. And you've got lots of other kinds of
yeah, I mean,
well,
these are grips, again, for aero extensions. These go on the end of carbon aero extensions. We make these for a US company. We ship them to the US, but all their carbon fibre is made in Taiwan. And it's assembled then to the US company. So again, we're exporting. It's not a major part of our business, but you know, we can competitively export, and we impart our knowledge of these type of components to help the customer.
Yeah, since you've got, I guess, industrial design knowledge as well, not only are you producing your own components, your own products, but helping other manufacturers make their own as well. How do those two combine? How can you do both at the same time and still be a viable business?
So, I mean, you have to pick and choose your battles on where you go for here, because the customer needs to have a design intent of what they want, but you can then turn it into things that could be manufactured at volume with the 3D printing technology, MJF technology. So that's where we really add value. There are examples where we also go further with our design knowledge. Obviously we're limited on that because of manpower and stuff. But you know, I'm, as an industrial designer, that's something we can turn a hand in, and we'll always offer that advice, whether it's advice on design or even wider manufacturing. You know, previous to that was injection molding, metal work, whatever. We do offer those advice, even though we don't obviously do that ourselves.
And how can you maintain part quality, and how can customers of, let's say, their own kinds of designs be confident you're producing good parts for them while you're also producing your own products as well?
Yeah, so that's a really good point. Our products are in nearly every build. So previously I said that our products are in every build because it makes it efficient. The other really great thing about them being in every build is we know our products inside out. So if our customer gives us a product which is odd shaped, you know, something like this, it's very hard to measure whether it's accurate or not, and it would take time. But what we do know is our own products very well. So we know when we get that build and it's got our own products, we can spot straight away if there's a problem. And if there is a problem, we know we need to check all the customer stuff in that build, which is another bit of quality control to go in addition to the 2 formal ones we do, which is very much about the powder control. So one important thing with powder bed fusion based technology, and 3 MJF in particular, is looking after the powder. You can keep reusing the powder and that'll degrade. Your parts will look very similar. If you look close, you get porosity. That porosity then becomes a problem because the parts, particularly thin parts, become more brittle, and those parts in elongation and impact tests will fail. No one will know that until
you test them.
Until it's too late. So we look after our powder. Our powder is checked and scanned once a week and plotted on a graph, so we can see where our powder's been across the year.
Brilliant. It's fascinating to see you guys make thousands and thousands of components a month.
Yeah.
Both your own products and subcontract manufacturing.
Yeah. To get the stuff to people, we don't just print bits of plastic, because we have experience in our own products where we assemble ourselves. We also assemble stuff and add parts for our customers. So this is a good example. So this, on the face of it, is just a enclosure. You can buy enclosures for, I don't know, 10, 15 pounds from RS Components. Thing is, you're just buying a grey box. That box is not suited to your brand or what you're trying to put inside. So this box here has obviously the holes that you would have to pay to CNC cut. It's got all the slots in it for the PCBs, which the buttons are mounted to, and then all the mounting points which we can heat insert. So, and at the same time, you've got branding on there as well.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, this has come out very competitive with an off-the-shelf item that you've had to CNC, but we've created something that's bespoke for that customer.
Yeah, and you can make very different designs every single time. You don't need to worry about molds.
No,
about
that's
running
exactly
CNC,
right.
running different programs.
Yep, that's
Brilliant.
exactly right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for an overview of MJF, how you guys are producing your own components, exporting all the way to Taiwan and the US,
Yeah.
and also producing really fascinating components for other companies as well. Thank you very much, Rob.
Thank you.